We hereby make protest. On January 26, 1938, while many Australians celebrated the 150th anniversary of the landing of the First Fleet, a group of Aboriginal men and women gathered at Australia Hall in Sydney, many of them Victorian. They had come together to continue a struggle that had begun 150 years previously. They met to move the following resolution. We, representing the Aborigines of Australia, assembled in conference at the Australian Hall, Sydney, on the 26th day of January 1938, this being the 150th anniversary of the white man's seizure of our country. We hereby make protest against the callous treatment of our people by the white men during the past 150 years, and we appeal to the Australian nation of today to make new laws for the education and care of Aborigines. We ask for a new policy which will raise our people to full citizen status and equality within the community. The first day of mourning was a culmination of years of work by the Australian Aborigines League and the Aboriginals Progressive Association. It would become the inspiration for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander activism throughout the remainder of the 20th century. In the early 1960s, both organisations would reform and reshape and become the driving force calling for a constitutional referendum that would take place in 1967. The 26th of January 1938 is not a day of rejoicing for Australia's Aborigines, it is a day of mourning. This festival of 150 years of so-called progress in Australia commemorates almost 150 years of misery and degradation imposed upon the original native inhabitants by the white invaders of this country. We, representing the Aborigines, now ask you, the reader of this appeal, to pause in the midst of your sesquicentenary rejoicings and ask yourself honestly whether your conscience is clear in regard to the treatment of the Australian blacks by the Australian whites during the period of 150 years history which you celebrate.
It's really overwhelming when we come out here in the pitch dark to gather and mourn the genocide of my peoples. I'm now going to invite our mob to come forward and introduce themselves, say where they're from.
Paul Stewart, Tunnarong, and my son, Marley.
Bonnie Point Gippsland, December 22, 1840. Mount Rouse, 1842.
Numpin Gippsland, October to December 1840.
Western District, 1839.
1837. 3 killed.
20 shot by station owners, cooks and shepherds.
40 unknown were killed by Angus McMillan's men.
Angus McMillan and his men took a heavy toll of Aboriginal lives. 9 killed.
51 killed. 78 killed.
1 killed by J.F. Francis.
Almost all Gungoot people butchered.
Mount Bainbridge, 3 were shot.
7 poisoned on Henty Brothers' property.
And there are a whole lot more that we don't know about that haven't been recorded yet. Your hands into the ochre, and you clean your hands with the sacred ochre from Wurundjeri land.
Guna
every one of you for coming out and sharing the load. Thank you, Auntie Di, for your presence and your continued resistance and survival. We can put our hands together for Auntie Di.
Babanine Yellingbu, good morning. Some of you are seated. Those of you who want to remain seated, that's fine. But could I ask you please to take 1 minute silence in remembrance of those who have passed over many years and still continue to do today. Nutchkumwa. Could I begin by paying my respects to all ancestors, elders and communities across this nation and neighbouring islands. I'd like to also acknowledge all elders that are with us this morning, and in particular Jim Berg, because it was under Jim's leadership that we're here today and that our skeletal remains are in their rightful place. Our heartache, our loss cannot be measured. Today, this morning, whenever, even during your 1 minute of moment of reflection, is sometimes too difficult to bear. I wish there was more time, and I'm sure there will be, should we start more discussions. I want to thank those who have walked this land for thousands and thousands of years. I want to thank everyone who's come together here tonight. Thank you. I also want to pay my respects to those who had no idea that their life would be cut short. And sadly, still today, we lose too many of our people. The atrocities that occurred through colonisation have had a major impact on our community, and we struggle to keep the fight going. But I'm very grateful that we have a very vibrant young community. And as the senior elder of the Wurundjeri people at this time, I feel very honoured to have the presence of all of you here with us this morning. We meet on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people. We bring a gift that has been given to us, not only to us, but to everyone across this nation. And that gift is the manigum. For those of you who may not know, Warren is the river white gum and Jerry is the grub that lives in that tree. And this gift, again, has been nurtured so that you and I can share through those ancient times and continue not only this morning, but hopefully through the rest of our time on this earth. I'm very proud to be here on my father's traditional lands. I know he and others would be immensely pleased with the efforts of today, and I want to thank the City of Melbourne and also our Victorian NAIDOC committee. There are many branches of leaves with us tonight, but I'll still take a leaf for those who have passed long before their time. Should you accept this gift, it means that you are welcome to everything, from the tops of the trees to the roots of the earth. You are given freedom of the bush. That freedom was taken away from our people. It also means, though, that you join with us to continue to nurture what we've all been given, in hope that we can reverse some of the climate change that has taken place. We've not looked after this country. We've not looked after our animals. We've not looked after our rivers. And it is time, this time now, we hope, in desperation, because how many times have we been let down? But we'll stand stronger with each of you. And again, thank you for being with us this morning. I want to pay my respects lastly to all the families of those who have family here, and say that we're sorry, we're Wurra Beninda. And at least if we continue to work together, then maybe we won't have to come to sites like this for reflection in this time and the future. Our language is the Woi Wurrung, Womenjakar, Wurundjeri Balak, Yemen, Kundibeg, and you are most welcome to the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people. Notchkamwa.
Hello, we are Murray Yapanya. On behalf of the dance group, I'd like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land which we gather today. I'd like to pay respects to Wurundjeri Woiwurrung, pay respects to others both past and present, but also the children, as they're the next ones to fight for country, to practice law, to practice culture. Also like to extend that onto Bunjil, the creator, and all the Kulin Nation. Here we're come together to dance for the fallen warriors. My name's Brent Watkins, I'm Gunai, Kurnai and Yurugaya. First time we got white in our DNA, they got moved from Horsham Way onto Gunai, and then they raped one of the women there, or they raped her and then they married into Gunai Kurnai. So that's how we first got the white in our DNA. Also from Yamaji and Noongar, and through that way as well, we're still trying to figure out where exactly come from due to stolen generation. But we would not be here today without our ancestors, without their resistance, without them passing that culture through the lines. Because of culture, I'm that strong man I am today. Without culture, I couldn't imagine where I would be today. So yeah, to all the fallen warriors and all the culture, men and women, that helped us get to where we are today and still can practice culture and ceremony because of them.
G'day, my name is Dylan Kerr. My traditional name is Boringal, which means spirit of the tree. I'd just like to pay my respects to the fallen warriors, past, present and future, as well as the stolen generation. Me, my father before me, as well as my pop, my nan. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for our people fighting on the front line and sacrificing blood for us to be here. And I'd just like to say I'm Yori Yora, Gundijamara, Jaja Warang, Wiradjuri, and Wempa Wempa. Thank you.
Nakinan, Darren Turner Jr. 12 name, we're on Jamara Yadawuri. We're on Black Okatu, Jamara, Soft Tongue Man, Yadawuri, east side of Grampians. I'm a Japurong man, born in Yori Yora. Ties to Gunai Kurnai, Gunjamara, Yuan, Nagaragu. I'd just like to pay my respects to all the warriors fallen on the front lines over the last 250 years, and all the warriors are still fallen today. I'd like to give a lot of strength out to the mobs that see this all over Gondwana land, this country. Utmost respect.
Hi, my name is Philip Egan. I'm a proud Māori Yori Yora man and also proud of my Tonga heritage. I want to pay my respects to the traditional owners of this land, the Wurundjeri, and I would like to also pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And my final pay my respects to is the fallen warriors. I am dancing here today for all the fallen warriors who made our way and for me to be able to dance today.
Hello, I'm Amos Roach. I am proud Japurong, Gundima, Panjalang, Nandiri, Yori, Kukara man. I'd like to acknowledge the elders, past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge and pay respect to all the mob all around the country for, we're doing these dances for our fallen warriors, and because of that we get to still practice our culture and still get to dance and sing on country and connect up our song lines. So the dances that we'll be doing, that you'll see, the first one is the boomerang dance, paying respect to our boomerangs, Karamara, Ginjay, paying respect to north, east, south and west, and we'll finish up with the celebration dance at the end. Karma. 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 Karma.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is John Patton. I'm a Yorta Yorta and Bunjalung man. My family are from here in Victoria, from up in the high country, Durura country, from Yorta Yorta, from the mid-Murray, and from the Clarence River in far northern New South Wales. Today is about our history. all of our history, not just Koori history here in Victoria, Aboriginal history across the country, and Torres Strait Islander culture and history as well, but the history that belongs, that is what we have gained over the last 65,000 years, which belongs to all of us. Today is a day where many minds and hearts are in conflict, but they don't need to be. It's been interesting to see over the last 2 years how the winds have changed in our direction. That more and more Australians are starting to see and are starting to speak out and understand that there is something more to be said about Australia Day, a day of mourning, Invasion Day. Even when we honour our ancestors and honour our traditional owners and our elders who are with us today, we have a long heritage that we can look back to, a long, long story. 65,000 years, and further evidence today suggests up to 85,000, that we are really coming to terms, or beginning to come to terms with who we are as a nation. We are very good in this country about celebrating our wins, and we talk about those nation-building episodes in our history. White Australia, or broader Australia, are very good at talking about the First Fleet, about convicts, about the gold rush and bushrangers, and all the romanticism, the things that they feel belong to them. But here I am, I'm a Koori man, and I also have non-Indigenous ancestry. I had a couple of ancestors that were aboard those ships that came to Australia in 1788. And when we look at that date, the 26th of January, what happened on that date? We talk about the British flag being raised, but it wasn't the first time that it was raised. Cook did that in 1770. We talk about it being the foundation of Australia or New South Wales, but that didn't happen until later. It wasn't in that month that the colony was properly founded and established. So what happened on that day? On that day, only the male convicts were allowed to go to shore. And we talk about how those people were nation builders. And yes, they were part of that story, and they are an important part of the story, along with all those people who came here freely, and everyone who has come here since, and everyone who was already here. Our history is so much more than we share with others. We tell ourselves lies in this country because we tell ourselves we are a young country, but we are ancient. We are so much more. And I think about all those elders who fought hard in 1938, and they created a day of mourning to honour our past and to put into the eyes of white Australia our plight and talk about the hardships we were experiencing, and not just at that point, but for 150 years to that point, and that we are still experiencing in many communities around this country. And we talk about the kinds of money that are being spent on Koori health and other aspects of who we are. Sure, it's a large amount of money, but when you think of our nation of 25 million people and the kind of expenditure that goes across those people, and not just the 3% that make up Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islanders, it's a drop in the bucket. It is nowhere close to the reparations that are required to get us on a level footing where we rightfully deserve to be.
Coastal dreaming. At the mouth of the Hopkins River, As it flows into the sea, you will feel your feet sink into the wet sand and seashells underfoot. Seaweed and sand between your toes, kelp from the depths of the ocean, being swept up and on to the beach. Smell the sea as you walk along the rocky shore and sandy dunes, covered with sharp-edged native grasses and pig-faced plants under your feet. And sitting on top of these sandy dunes is Killarney Beach. Well, you will find middens covered with sand and shells all round, blackened firestones laying on the sand. Take a deep breath. Inhale the smells of the sea, fire and smoke, the aroma of abalone, lobsters, scallops and other shellfish cooking in their own juices on hot coals over the fire. Hear the laughter of the elders, mothers and dads and their children enjoying their tucker that they've harvested from the sea. They are practicing a culture that they've had for thousands and thousands of years. Can you imagine being there? Keep standing on the sandy dunes with your eyes closed and look towards the sea. Can you also imagine seeing white sails on the horizon where the sea meets the sky? These sailing ships are carrying invaders that will destroy the peaceful scene of happy, smiling faces. These invaders bring with them diseases, the common cold, smallpox and blankets, rifle, bullets, bayonets, the sword, the Bible, and genocide. We were forced off our land. Destruction of our culture, language, identity, spirituality, dignity and pride, and stolen generations. They destroyed and wiped out whole Koori nations. Open your eyes. Can you imagine that this took place in this country now called Australia? I wrote it several years ago. Yeah. And it's based on a place, it's based on Killarney Beach. At the mouth of the Hopkins River, there's a site there called Killarney Beach. And it's been estimated that our people, Gunditjmara people, been there on that beach over the years for 60 to 120,000 years. For 60 to 120,000 years. From there you walk along the beach and come to Killarney Beach. Yeah. Very spiritual place for me. Very spiritual. Growing up on Fram as a youngster, about 6 years old, we had our own school, segregation at its best, or worse. We had Koori kids 6-7 kilometres away or even further. They had to come to our school and couldn't go to Panmure, which was a lot closer, and they had to walk, ride a bike to get to our school because they couldn't go to any other school. On the Mish, we knew who we were, what we were, but as soon as we walked off into Warrnambool, we were coons, bungs, put down at every opportunity. Fram itself was a church mission, and like all the other missions that were set up in Victoria, it was also a prison. Prisons, in a sense, that we couldn't practice our culture, our language, eat traditional foods or anything. We were subhuman. And to get permission from the Native Welfare Board, you had to apply for it. It was, in a sense, a prison. So I had relatives from Fram and at Lake Tyers. Kids were taken for a holiday and never returned. Racism back in those days was at its worst. To get exemption, you have to be of good character. And you had certain conditions under this exemption. You had not to associate with any members or speak to your family or associate with your family. You was permitted under the Act to go into pubs, public may not serve you, housing, employment, and if you complied to if you complied to all of these decisions, you would become a good white man. 1951. 1951. I belong to that era.
Drenched right through. Mundanai, Kiripik, Mundanai, Gangan Jim, Mundanai, Giran Sarah, Giran Joy, Giran Pam, and all other elders and aunties and uncles that are here out before the sun rises, because this is the most pure part of the day. You wake up, well, we all this morning didn't really want to get up, be honest, but we all got up and we had a mission today. We had a mission to honour all those people that have passed, all of our ancestors, old people that have gone before us and trailblazed for us, and the ones that their lives were cut short. This whole event should be on the same level as something that's up in that building over there, that really big monument building over there that has a fire going all the time. You know what I'm talking about. It needs to be a national recognition of the first war that happened all across this country and all across the world with First Nations people. I think there's only about over 250, there's about 30 plus countries in the world that haven't been invaded by Britain. Let that sink in. That's disgusting. I often have people coming up to me saying, or Facebook messaging saying, well, if it wasn't Britain, it would have been someone else. But throughout all of that stuff, all of that negativity, all of that dembenness, I don't know how to say it in an English way, stupidity, they don't want to open their eyes. So things like this morning really raise the awareness that we're all here, we're mourning, and we'll not stop mourning forever, because the atrocities that happened here and all over the world will never, ever, ever be forgotten. That sounds like another statement that other people use all the time, doesn't it? But we own it. We're the original people of this country, and we can speak for this country. And today we're honouring all of those Victorian mob that lost their lives. So I'm going to bring it down a bit now, and I want you all to shut your eyes, even though it's dark and I can't see you really. Shut your eyes and listen to the narrative of the mother tree that I'm going to explain. And I'll shut my eyes too, because you need to get in that zone. Picture the duat in the Birrarung, the fish, Yawa swimming in the Birrarung, the Yarra River. Watch the burnt or the smoke of the winya, of the fire, dancing as the wind, as the mornmut blows the smoke into different shapes. Smell the beautiful ambience from that campfire, from the winya. Listen to the bubups playing, the kids playing. Listen to the bugruk gossiping. Watching the gulanya, the men out hunting for marum and burramul, emu and kangaroo. Listen to the murnmut and the banyamin, the rain touching your maram, your body, the wind, murnmut entering your body through your lungs. Feel country, big, feel it. Don't just see it, nganga. All through this time, a little seedling started to grow. Before all these buildings are here, were put here forcibly. This seedling watched, and it learnt from the people. It watched people living in harmony. It watched happiness. It watched the women digging the wuleli or the murnong tuba with their wulanya, with their digging sticks. They watched the men burn country. They manicured this environment. We were scientists. Not we were, we still are. We're scientists. We're ecologists. We're masters of our realm. So this country was beautiful before everything came along that wasn't from nature. So this seedling grew over time, and eventually it grew into a giant old wiggable bial, a giant old red gum. There is a couple still around here. There's one in the Botanical Gardens. There's another one in the Botanical Gardens called the Federation Tree. I think that name should change. But someone had an idea that they might ringbark that tree, which they did, so it's died now. There was one down at the church down here, the big spire church. And that was used for invaders, you can't say it any other way. That was used for sitting under and praying. These magnificent trees, they grew into those beautiful mother trees, the baban darang, the mother trees. They watched everything. Then all of a sudden, it was chopped down. This is when all the buildings started to get built. This is when the laughter stopped. The men stopped hunting. The animals went away. The women cried. But during this time, as this city, Nam, was being built, the invaders thought that this tree was dead. But it had a really deep root structure, and that's language. Shoots started coming from the trunk. They're the next generations coming through. Community leaders. The trunk itself is the elders. And it had time to drop seeds, and those seeds are our bubups, our children. So even though all of this destruction happened, the earth, the powdery soil, the fertile soil no longer is there. That tree survived. So I want you to open your eyes now and wake up if you've fallen asleep. And remember Nam that way. Don't see the buildings. Don't see the hectic heaviness of the city. The unculturalness, if that's even a word, of the city. Don't let it drag you down. Look past the buildings like you're looking through your hand. I can still see past my hand. Look through the buildings like you're looking through your hand. So this tree is the elders, the branches are culture, the language is the roots. So if we're firmly implanted in this ground, we will never, ever die. We will always survive, even though we were tried, people cut us down. So that's the metaphor for culture surviving atrocities. And I will always reference that beautiful Baban Darang, that mother tree, because it gave all of its genetic code to those shoots and to those seedlings, and we live on and we'll never die. Nungojin, thank you.
Ko rehi te manu tāki mai I te ata. Ka ao, ka awatia, ti hei mauri ora. Kia ora. As I stand here on Mount Dandenong, on beautiful Wurundjeri country, wanted to pay our respects for this day, the 26th of January, to all of those traditional owners, elders that have gone before us to this land and its beautiful people who still fight every day for their sovereignty, still fight every day for their culture. On behalf of our Māori community, I want to pay my respects, to share in this day of mourning with you, and to let you know that we stand with you, we will walk with you, and we are very humbled to be able to practice our own culture on your lands. So on behalf of our community, fight on, we stand here with you, always was, always will be. Kia ora.
Okay. Frontier Wars, Colonial Massacres. 1st of January 1834 to the 31st of December 1834, Convincing Ground, Portland Bay, Durwood, Warrung, 20 killed. 16th July 1836, Mount Cottrell, Werribee, Watherarung, 10 killed. 1st of November 1837 to 30th November 1837, Mundy Massacre, Pylong Station, Goulburn River, Tungarong, 6 killed. 12th of April 1838, Faithful Massacre, Benalla, Tungarong, 1 killed. 1st of June 1838 to 30th of June 1838, Waterloo Plains, Jarjarvarung, 23 killed. 1st of June 1838, Campaspe Plains, Jarjarvarung, 40 killed. 1st of June 38 to 31st of August 1838, Darlington Station, Jarjarvarung, 13 killed. 1st of July 1838 to the 31st of July 1838, Reservoir, 1, Jarjarvarung, 10 killed. 1st of October 1838 to the 31st of October 1838, Murdering Flats, Woolararung, Najarjali, 40 killed. 1st of February 1839 to 28th of February 1839, Maiden Hills, Jarjarvarung, 6 killed. 1st of June 1839 to 30 November 1839, Chimney Pots, Jarjarvarung, Nundajali, 69 killed. 1st of October 1839 to 31st of October 1839, Murdering Gully, Jargurd Warrung, Kire Wurrung, and Woginad, Dallangnod, 35 killed. 1st of December 1839 to 31st of January 1840, Bloodhole, Jarjarvarung, 6. 1st of January 1840 to 23rd of February 1840, Tahara, Woolararung, 6 killed. 1st of January 1840 to 31st of December 1840, Latrobe Valley, unknown, 20 killed. 8th of March 1840, Fighting Hills, Nundajali, 41 killed. 1st of April 1840, Fighting Waterholes, Woolararung, Nundajali, 20 killed. 1st of June 1840 to 30 June 1840, Mustons, Jarjarvarung, Gay Warrung, 8 killed. 9th of June 1840, Campaspe, 2, Jarjarvarung, Nere Ilamwarung, 7 killed. 11th of June 1840, Mount Rouse, Jabwarung, Gaywarung, 20 killed. 12th of August 1840, Victoria Valley, Jabberung, 23 killed. First of October 1840 to the 31st of October 1840, Boney Point, Gippsland, Gunai, Tatangalang, Braek Kalong, 15. 1st of November 1840, 30 November 1840, Cornell's Ford, Nunjalli, Wooloorong, 15 killed. 1st of November 1840 to 30th November 1840, Burrumbeep, Pert Wurrung, 7. 1st of January 1841 to the 31st of December 1841, Butcher's Creek, Tatangalang, 30 killed. 1st of June 1841 to the 30th of June 1841, Mount Sturgeon Station, Jabberung, 6 killed. 1st of June 1841 to the 25th of July 1841, Woodlands, Neen Warung, 7 killed. 23rd of August 1841, Rufus River, Yu or Dintate or Marawara, 30 killed. 1st of December 1841 to the 28th of February 1842, King River above Oxley Plains, Wangaratta, unknown, 200 killed. 1st of February 1842 to 28th of February 1842, Tyrone, Kun, Coconut or Burrung, 6 killed. 24th of February 1842, Lubra Creek, Karamat Station, Gay Warung, Jabberung, 6 killed. 17th of August 1842 to 18th of August 1842, Umarella, Tatgalang, 6 killed. 1st of October 1842 to the 31st of October 1842, Tyrone, Bingwarung, Kurund Coconut, 24 killed. 21st of December 1842 to the 21st of December 1842, Holland's Landing, Tatangalang, 6 killed. First of February 1843, Barmer Lake, Barbara, Yorta people at Barmer Lake, 1st of February 1843, 26 killed. 1st of July 1843 to the 31st of July 1843, Warrigal Creek Waterhole, Bractalong, 75 killed. 1st of July 1843, Warrigal Creek Mouth, Bractalong, 25 killed. 15th of July to the 31st of July, Freshwater Creek, Gippsland, Bratorlong, 25 killed. 15th of July for 1843 to the 31st of July 1843, Gammon Creek, Gippsland, Bratorlong, 25 killed. 6th of August 1843, Wannon River, Jabberung, Namdunjalay, 17 killed. 1st of September 1843 to the 10th of September 1843, Fitzroy River, Darward Warung, 10 killed. 1st of September 1843 to the 31st of September 1843, Crawford River, Dor Warung, Wooloorong, 9 killed. 1st of November 1843, Cluny, Nandajali, Mardijali, 6 killed. 1st of November 1843 to 1st of June 1844, Tambo Crossing, Tatangalang or Bradbalang, 70 killed. 1st of July 1845 to 31st of July 1845, Mount Arapails, Mardijali, 6 killed. 2nd of July 1845, Narracoot Caves, Burrendig, 6 killed. 1st of February, Loddon Junction, 1846, Wemba, 6 killed. 1st of August 1846 to the 2nd of August 1846, Eyre River Estuary, Cape Otway, Gadabanud, 8 killed. 6th of December 1846, Snowy River, Tatangalang, 15 killed. 1st of July 1847 to 31st of July 1847, Mount Eccles, Darward Warrung, 30 killed. 1st of July 1847 to 31st of July 1847, Mount Napier, Wooloowurrung or Jabwarung or Gaywarung, 30 killed. 1st of July 1848 to 30 June 1848, Beveridge Island, Wemba or Wari, 7 killed. 1st of January 1850 to 18 December 1850, the Slaughterhouse, Tatangalang or Brabralang, 15 killed. 1st of January 1850 to 31st of December 1850, Millie, Broadrib River, Croatangalang, 15 killed.
The reason I've got the white ochre on my forehead is because white ochre on your forehead is a sign of mourning. And yeah, and it's really significant, and I needed to mention why I've got that on. So we'll just wait for the juries to gather, but this chant was created because there wasn't anything available in my language to farewell our loved ones when they passed. So my mum and dad weren't too well for a number of years, and I thought I need to send them off properly if they ever pass, which they both have. And I sang it for my dad's funeral. And it's what we need to reclaim. We need to reclaim the traditional way for burying our loved ones. No offence to people that are Christian or have their own spiritual beliefs, but our funerals should be done proper way, with ceremony, with a smoking, with a proper farewell to their spirits. And this chant is the outcome of that. And it basically is along the lines of, farewell, dear spirit. You watch us from Tarangolk, from above the clouds. We will see you tomorrow when our souls reunite. Now you can participate in this by putting your hand over your heart and doing a heartbeat sound. And you can keep pace with my clap sticks as well. Twaganen, Biling Moro Nganganyaro Nganganyaro Taranga Nganganganye